All right, welcome to Qigong. My name is Cyndi. If you're new to Qigong, welcome. Qigong is a practice of cultivating energy. Qi means energy, Gong means work or cultivation. And so today we're going to be doing that by starting with bringing attention to our hands. And just take a look at the palms and the fingers and wiggle the fingers and turn the wrists and just get a sense of the amazing capacity that these hands have and all that they do in our life and how they express our energy so creatively and magnificently. Now at the center of your palm is a point called the Lao Gong point, and the way you find that is to fold your fingers inward and look at where your middle finger lands, and then take the opposite thumb and push or create little circles. This will activate the chi, the energy, opening up some circulation into the hand, get some of the blood flowing into the hands. Chi or energy follows blood. Good. And once you've stimulated that point significantly, give the hand a shake. And then look at the palm. It should be a little pinker than before. So pinkness in the palm indicates more blood flow. Now take the finger of the opposite hand, the index finger and the thumb, and wrap it around the wrist and create some movement there. And this helps move any stagnant energy that's in the wrist out of the way to get the chi flowing again. That's the way. And go ahead and move that motion all the way up the forearm to the elbow. Create a little stirring of the elbow here. Winding energy into the elbow from the opposite hand. And then we'll tap on the elbow, around the elbow, the tissue, the muscles, tendons, ligaments around that joint. And then clean off that stagnant energy at the top of the forearm. Tends to collect a lot of congestion. Brush it off the entire arm. Great. And then take that palm facing the heart, opposite hand stacks on top. And as you press forward, straightening the arm, you're going to feel a pull on the top of that wrist. Go ahead and work at your range of flexibility and breathe into the sensation that you're feeling in the wrist. And then bring the elbow back. And as you push the hand back forward, you're going to take the fingers into the palm of the opposite hand as you push forward, stretching the underside of the wrist. And the fingers as well are getting a nice stretch here. And then just let the fingers peel off the hand and shake that hand. Feel some sensation in the hand now as you just rest both arms to the side. If it helps, you can close your eyes to tune into the difference in the hands and see what you notice. It's okay if you don't notice anything at all. We're going to add a little bit more influence to getting some energy moving, and you'll feel it after this. Go ahead and take the index finger and the thumb of the opposite hand and squeeze right between the thumb and the index finger on that fleshy tissue. And go ahead and give it a little wiggle. It's feel tender. A lot of us it does. Okay, we're just moving out. Any tenderness is really just an indication of stagnant energy. It out, working primarily with our hands in our practice. Now do the same thing for each space in between the finger. Really feel what's there to be felt. Wiggle, squeeze, whatever way you feel is adding a little opening and space in between. Good. Now taking and massaging or milking the fingers is what I call it, and squeeze and pull off each finger. Start with the thumb, and when you get to the end of the thumb where the nail is, you're going to squeeze the nail and squeeze the pad of that thumb and pull off. You might even feel the sensation of a clicking noise as you do that. You can make a little popping sound if you like for added. And just see energy pulling off the fingers and extending out beyond the hand, that your finger energy and your hand energy extends beyond your physical hand. Shake the wrist in multiple directions. And now pause again and feel what you notice in your hand. Good. Take the palm of the opposite hand and do the same thing. Start with that Lao Gong point. Massaging, tenderness might be an issue. Just be gentle with what feels good for you. Stimulating that point. And taking a look at the hand and seeing if you notice a pinkness starting to enter the palm. It's a good sign. You want that. And let the palm turn towards the heart. Take the opposite hand on top, stack, and then press forward through the top of the wrist, but let the fingers curl back. Good. You can even take the thumb inside and squeeze those fingers if you want a little bit more. And let the arm drop, bend the elbow, bring it to the side, this time pushing the fingers into the palm of the opposite hand and feeling the stretch. Move to the inside of the wrist. That's the way. Let the fingers peel off the hand and give it a shake. Good. Taking the first finger, index finger and thumb, and let's get into that wrist. Good. Notice the movement all the way up into the shoulder and the elbow. Good. We used to call this snake bites, as we'd go ahead and pinch the skin on the way up, and then take and wrap energy from palm of the opposite hand into the elbow like you're warming it up and preparing it for this stretch. And then tap on that forearm, go all the way around the elbow, and scrub the top of that forearm. And then brush all the way down the arm, underneath the arm as well. Shake. And give it a rest for a moment, noticing this arm starting to catch up with the other arm in terms of sensation. Good. We're going to add that little massage here with the first finger, index finger, and thumb. Squeeze on that point between the thumb and the index finger. Move around a little bit until you feel no sensation. It'd be a little zinger for some of us. Good. Opening up circulation, go in between each finger. Squeeze, massage. Self-massage is one of the what's called the 4 baskets of Qigong. Self-massage, gentle movements, breathing, and visualization, 4 baskets of Qigong. Good. Now that we've got our hands warmed up, let's interlace our fingers and stretch out fingers. Bring the arms forward and then overhead, and feel a nice stretch in the upper chest area as we let our hands come behind our head, elbows back, and then press outward. And I'll step backwards so you can see my feet. We'll draw hands up the center. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, we're going to start to move into the joints in the legs. So we've done the joints in the arms. These are called the gates. Shifting to one leg, bend the knee, and then the opposite. Just a gentle movement from side to side. We get a little energy moving into the knees and the ankles. Okay, now as we shift to this side, pick up the heel of the opposite foot. And we'll just go ahead and imagine drilling a hole into the earth with the big toe, bringing energy and heat to the feet. There we go. And do the other side. Shift the weight first, land, lift up the heel, go ahead and drill that hole into the earth. Good, and come back to the center. And again, rock from side to side. Now as we rock to this side, we're going to pick up the leg and lift it up to the opposite glute. This will challenge your balance a little bit. We're crossing the left and right side of the body. Cross lateral movements. Turning our brain on and challenging our balance a little bit. A little bit into the knees as you come down, rise up. Catch yourself on the way down, land, steady your center, and then switch. Posting weight in one foot, lifting the other, 2 more. That's it, easy goes. Back and forth. Now, bring yourself back to the center. Hands on the hips this time. We're going to bend into the knees. Let me step back here so you can see my feet. Bend into the knees. Good. Let's start with the feet together so you have proper position. Feet together in formal position. And then externally rotate the toes. Externally rotate the heels. And then bring your feet parallel. And that's the comfortable position. We'll sink a little bit into the hips, into the knees, and into the feet. Plug in your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel to the earth, as if you're cupping a little bit at the arch of the foot and towards the front of the foot. Another important point at the soles of the feet. So bringing energy up from the earth, called the bubbling spring. Now again, we'll shift our weight from side to side. That's right. Just gently shifting from side to side. And let your gaze start to rock with the movement in the opposite direction. So as we shift into the left leg, gaze over the right side, and alternating. Starting to notice a little movement at the top of the spine in a rotation. Good. Then we'll bring that movement down the spine by raising the arms as we come. One side, raise the arms to the other, gazing out across the arms now. See if you can synchronize your breathing with the movements. Feel like it flows. Little bit of effort, but not much. Once you get into the momentum of this movement, it becomes more and more effortless. Staying strong in your center, so as you lean to one side and extend your arms in the opposite direction, you feel grounded and anchored, like your core stability is rooting into the earth. And we'll come back to this one in a little bit. What we're going to do is 2 more, and then we'll go into a little bit more hip movements here. Bring the hands to the center, draw the arms overhead, reach up and look backwards just slightly if that's good for your neck. If it's not safe for your neck, just stay looking forward. And let's draw energy down the spine. Imagine a river of energy flowing down the spine, and then bring it right into what's called the lower dantian, below your navel. And then slide your hands up and into the hips. Sink back into your knees. Good. And again, we'll shift our weight to one side, and then press the hips back, and shift weight to the other side, and press the hips forward. Good. Feeling the movement in the hips, in the knees, in the ankles. There we go. Moving slowly through the range of motion in these major joints, the gates of the lower leg. Ankles and knees, and up into the hips. Good, notice how slow we're moving. Now pause here, reverse direction, shifting, opposite direction now, back and around. Good, noticing the movement of the spine, hinging forward, flexation, moving a little bit back, and extension. Look at the range of motion not only in your hips, knees, and ankles, but also your spine. That's it. Do 2 more like that, and nice and easy, nice and slow. Trying to bring the timing of the breath into the movements, and then keeping our attention focused on bringing circulation and freedom, spaciousness into the hips. Now let your arms rest to the side. Gently rock side to side. We're going to add a little rotation in the spine here as we come up and off the heels, spin on that toe. Good. Let the arms just follow the movement as the lower body guides, reaching across. Notice a circular pattern forming around the waist now with the movement of the arms. Good. This stimulates chi or energy around the kidneys. Good. And it just gives us this nice sense of being in the flow of the momentum. As the lower body leads, the upper body follows. Good. Now pausing as you start to slow down. We'll do the opposite now. As we rotate our upper body in this direction, it's guided by the toe again being plugged into the earth, but this time the heel is turning in towards you and the hip is externally rotating. Right? So it's the same kind of motion, just a little bit of different angle on that hip, what we call the qua, opening that energy flow, clean. The lower body, the roots, which are our legs, torso, which is our trunk of our tree, and our arms are the branches. So think of that analogy as we move through class here. Bring yourself back to the center, pausing and slowing down. So there's no abrupt starting or stopping. We try to keep things flowing by gently slowing down and fading into a pause. Fading into pause gives you a moment to just check in and feel what you feel. What are you noticing in your body as a result of opening all the major joints of the body? The 9 gates are called. 3 in the legs, the ankles, knees, and hips. 3 in the arms, the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. And the 3 sections along the spine, lumbar, thoracic, and cervical. So now that things are nice and open, start by doing something very simple. Palms up, bring the elbows back. Rotate the wrists so the fingers reach towards the body. We press the arms back. From here, bend the knees and let the arms sink up. Sink up. That sounds a little bit challenging for the mind to say sinking upward. It's the feeling that you can have when you let your lower body sink into the earth and then let your arms float up as though you're in water. If you were in water, your arms were next to your side and you sunk your lower body into the water, your arms would rise up. So think of that. Imagine what that would be like. 2 of the main exercises to help reverse aging are Qigong and swimming. And they're similar in a way that they work the body symmetrically, creating symmetric patterns around the body. And also, it seems to me that swimming, it's like Qigong in water. Gong is like in air. Imagine, which is a big part of Qigong. Using your imagination, imagine you're in water. Let the hands do what they want to do. Up, hard, ask about exactly how to do this simple flowing movement. As long as it flows with the breath and movement are connected. This time let the arms rise up over the head, creating a field of energy around the head and pushing the arms out and bringing the arms up. The head, imagine clearing energy off the back of the neck. Pretty heavy and dense, and let the arms come down. Imagine we're just opening pathways along the body. Flow going. Rising and falling with the breath. Feel an internal wave. The body starting to respond to that internal wave. Waiting for the rising of the breath. And surrendering to the falling of the breath. Inhale, mobilizing the energy, moving the energy. Exhale, stabilizing as we sink it closer to the earth, stabilizing the ground. And then inhale, arms up. And bring the hands behind the head. let your hands rest to the back of the neck. And if it's safe for you, let your head draw back a little bit. And then pressing the arms out. See the same movement we did before. Keep the weight to one leg, let the arms go in the opposite direction. And we're going to add the piece that we did with the hips to this. We want to build energy in the core and the lower dantian and move it up the spine. Encouraging circulation along the spine nourishes our internal organs. So here we go. Here's the next move. As we sink to one side, hips go back as they did before. Let the arms come forward. Let the hips come back. Good. Find that center. And then hips shift to the other side, arms shift to the other side. And then we come back. And exhale. Try to do it in a continuous movement. Feel the movement in the hips. Try to keep the arms relaxed, not using too much energy in the shoulders. Just enough to keep the weight. The arms lifted. Let momentum carry you through each movement. More, and then we'll go in the opposite direction. Moving energy around the body. Things don't get stagnant and dull. Good. Go back to the center. Brush the arms over the chest and the heart and sink down. We'll let the arms rise up, lifting as though you're lifting energy up from the earth, gathering that chi. Feel it in your hands. Imagine drawing channels of light from the earth upward. You can see it as green growing things, or anything your imagination wants to use to support you, imagining pulling life and energy up from the earth. This is related to the wood element, springtime, and the liver, associated with the liver in the body. Liver and spring cleaning all go together. Cleansing the body, any toxicity through deep breathing and slow movements. That's the way. Now shifting the weight into the opposite side. Good, arms coming out to the side. Now arms coming forward, hips shifting back. Shifting the weight to the opposite side of the legs. The arms also move opposite, and we come back. Same thing we did before, opposite direction. Your time and move through every corner of our flexibility. And modify anything that doesn't feel right for you. You have the freedom to grab a chair if you need. Sorry I didn't mention that before, but anything that we're doing in Qigong can be done seated. If you're new, I apologize for not mentioning that before. Encouraging flowing movements through the entire body, through every joint. More. Slowly come back to the center. Draw the arms up and overhead. Cross the wrists. And as you pull the hands down, separate the wrists, set the energy. Draw the arms up as though you're clearing the heart and the lungs, and set the energy down. Pull energy up as we did before. But imagine pulling the energy up from the earth into the roots, into the legs, into the hands. You're pulling energy up. Good. Energy is naturally rising this time from the earth. This time of year in the northern hemisphere, we have spring. So we're working with the natural flow and calling it up and into the body now. Draw it up and over, wrapping yourself with this energy. Good. Surround your body in this energy. Bring the hands down. Back out for more. Collecting, gathering, filling up with this vital energy. Turn the palms up, looking up. If that's safe for your neck, feel the energy wrap around the body, showering down through the field. The body is surrounded by a field of energy. And as we move our hands through that field, we start to comb the field, so to speak. We start to cleanse it like a shower, like you would take a physical shower and have your physical hygiene. We're doing energetic hygiene, giving our chi or our energy field a shower, cleansing and moving our hands, our breath, and our mental awareness and attention and intention through the field, through the hands. Hands filling with that chi. Good. Now let's do the opposite as we bring the energy across the lower dantian, up and over, and let it shower down. Good. Still gathering. Feel this buoyancy of an internal water element rising and falling like waves in the ocean. Scooping and clearing the body of anything that's not supportive of that natural buoyancy, that levity that we love so much when we get into flow. Encouraging flow. Flow promotes health and creativity. One more time. Bring it up. Nice and slow. Clearing the mind of any negativity. Drop the arms down. Good. And then let's scan the front of the body. Bring the hands up and over the head, behind the neck. And now we go in front of the shoulders. And then down the back of the body, all the way down. Bend the knees, reaching out like you're scooping big circles of energy and then drawing it up the front. Once again, over the head, giving the energy direction around the body, circulating the chi between heaven and earth into our field. If you'd like, you can push the hands to the earth here. It's called pressing earth. And as you rise back up, circling around the opposite direction and pulling fingers up, inside, and create backs of the hands together, a pulling energy up the spine and down around. Good. As we do that again, backs of the hands come together, we'll pull up the center, all the way to what's called the upper dantian in the center of the forehead, back down to the heart, and then tie a little bow here through the heart. And drop the hands. Reach the arms overhead this time. Gather heaven. And again, curl the fingers inward. They come down towards the top of the head. Imagine the byway point at the center of the head. Taking in that energy. Threading it through the spine. From the upper, through the middle, to the lower, and then back to the middle. Tie it off in a bow. Pull forward and let anything of excess that's not supporting our body in fully functioning to its capacity fall back to the earth. And then we'll draw the new energy up, weave it through all 3 medicine fields and then tie it off in the heart. Good. And draw the arms overhead. Gather heaven. Thread it through. Tie it off in the heart. Bring it to the earth. Shedding the skin here. Gathering the new. Bringing it through. Weaving heaven and earth through the body. If you're feeling lightheaded for any reason, then you can modify this by just keeping your gaze forward as you raise your arms overhead instead of looking up. Good. And then as we spill out from the heart and back to the earth, rather than bending all the way forward, just come part way. And let the arms come around, just like we did before, without bending too deep. And as we come up slowly, so as not to raise the head too quickly if you're feeling lightheaded for any reason. It's common, so don't worry if it's not feeling comfortable for you. It's because we're moving energy in ways we haven't before. And it's just a little disorienting for the body. Now bring the hands behind, the elbows behind the body with the palms up. Once again, rotate the wrists so the fingers point towards the waist. Rotate and push the arms back. Stretch the top of the shoulders. Let the arms float out front. And again, just this gentle flowing motion here. We're going to rise up into the pads of the feet as we push the arms back. Sink into the heels as we let the arms float up. And it's this rising up and into the pads. Arms push back. Back into the heels. Arms come forward. Timing this with the breath. Exhale. Inhale. Be a little lifting, if you'd like, of the heels as you come onto the pads of the feet to challenge your balance. That's an option. Let's do a couple more, nice and slow. Exhale. That's it. Now try this. As you bring your weight into your heels, your pads, your heels, bring the arms forward. And then as you sink back, drop your arms back. Be a little more challenging for balance. So it's just a different way to flow with this internal wave. So I want to try different combinations of breathing and moving to find what works for us. Good, one more. Nice and slow. This time let the palms turn up as we come up onto the pads of the feet. Bring the hands over the head. And as the hands come behind the head, drop into the heels and extend the arms out to the sides. And let the arms come next to the side of the body. And again, practice shifting the weight from one leg to the other. Play with the stance between the feet. You can try a little wider if you like to at this point. You guys might be feeling tired. If so, let's just kick them out a little bit. Kick off any stress that's built up in the legs. You can even imagine kicking sand off your big toe. That helps to release some of that built up energy on top of the quad. And find that comfortable stance for you. Shoulders rolling back. And again, shifting from side to side. As we shift over to one side, let's shift our weight into the back heel and into the toe. Heel, toe. And then from the toe, go to the heel of the opposite foot. From the heel, toe, and back a couple times. Good. Now from the heel, around the knife edge of the foot, to the pinky toe, to the big toe, and then from the big toe to the opposite heel. the same thing, curving around the little toe, big toe. And once you get the majority of your weight in your big toe, push off the big toe to the opposite heel, creating this figure 8 pattern in our lower body. That's right. Good. Nothing to think about at this point. Now that you've got the pattern down, you can just be aware of the sensation moving through your body and the sensation of your body moving through your heel. That's another perception that we're developing in our capacity to intuit, sense. Good. We're going to bring our arms movements into this. And as we push off the big toe to the opposite heel, we'll let the hand of that heel that we're leaning into come across the heart, clearing the heart and the lungs. And go around the curve to the other doorway, opening up, and clearing any congestion that might be in the heart or the lungs. Moving the hands, brushing across the field in that vicinity. Notice the opposite arm is just going along for the ride. It doesn't have any particular agenda. It's just being guided by the movement of the lower body. Let your hand follow that pathway of the figure 8 as well. Let your gaze follow the hand opening the door. Intuit what might be behind that doorway. When all the smoke is cleared, when all the congestion is freed up, what's there seeking to be known? What is it the body is wanting to reveal? Especially the heart. And we'll bring ourselves back to the center. But in honor of the heart, we're going to look at this space just between where the wrist connects the hand and the arm, and about 3 inches up. Little space. We're going to go ahead and tap here side. Connecting to a pericardium point. Pericardium is the sac around the heart. Protects the heart. And then turn it over and do it again. Opposite direction. Release the arms. Take a breath and reach up overhead. And let the energy spill back down through the center of the body. Do a practice here of guiding energy through the upper body meridians, which are the lungs and heart. We'll start by taking, for me it's the right hand across the lower navel, up the left side. Now we're going to physically touch our body, so let your hand brush, make contact, cross, up the side, underneath the arm. As you bring the arm across, we're crossing the midline of the body, and then let the hand trace the top of the arm as you come back laterally. And turn the cheek, turn the head, and draw energy off the jaw and the face. And then extend the arm and let the palm press down like it's just releasing any stagnant energy. And then this hand, same thing, tracing that same pathway with contact, crossing the heart. uncrossing, coming across. Good, we'll do the same thing. This time it's still making contact, but just barely. Starting to move the hand a little bit off of the body. Still feel a little rush of contact, but it's not full contact like the last time. So we're calling the energy out of the body and into the field. Same thing on this side. And we'll progressively move our hand a little further away from the body for each repetition to call the energy more into the field and out to play. So we're barely, if at all, touching the body now. We're scanning, pulling. Energy off the body and calling the energy from inside to the outside. We're going to eventually be creating a ball of energy to play with, to use as a healing medicine. Notice now my hand at least 4 inches off the body. I still feel energy, feel movement, energy, direction. The energy is being guided. And even if you can't feel it, it's perfectly fine. Imagine that if you could, what would it feel like? Just a gentle brushing like a breeze. And we're now about 6 to 8 inches off the body, and the body is starting to lose its shape, becoming more rounded, like a ball of energy, which is what we're after here. That's the way. And we're going to start moving into a familiar movement, a ball of energy, condensing and bringing it into the center of the body and playing with that energy, pressing it and expanding it, turning it over, pressing, expanding, good, and turn it over. This time we'll expand it a little more by pulling the bottom hand up, pushing the top hand down, and create a line of energy between the upper and lower dantian. Let's add a little bend into the spine with this. That as you come back to center, turn the palms towards each other. Feel the energy coming back together magnetically. Feel a magnetic pull between the hands. Turn it over. Pull apart. Turn it over again. Pull apart. Good. Now the bottom hand comes up, top hand down. You're going to press the palms of the hands away from each other. One is pushing to earth, one to heaven. We take spine, side bend, back to the center, and bring it down. Good. Connect the energy, turn it over, connect, turn. Good. Now, as your hands come together, connect the energy like you're connecting two pieces of thread. And we're going to bring the elbows in, pull the elbows apart, and then draw that thread up and wrap it around the body in that figure 8 pattern. Bring that ball of energy together. Reach in and grab a thread. Winding those elbows in, unwind and pull. Stay with that energy. See a golden thread of light pulling up, pulling down slightly, and wrapping around. 2 circles on either side of the spine. Good. Work at your level with your arms. If you can't raise your arms overhead for some reason, then just move smaller with this. I'll demonstrate. Good. Find that ball of energy. Reach in, grab a thread. Pull it up. You may just pull this high, and that's fine. Go ahead and extend the arms out. Create that loop on either side. Infinity loop. And catch that ball again right at the heart center. Really see a golden orb of energy. This is your energy at the heart. Turn it, stretch it. Good, play with it, expand it. Now think about some area of your body, talking to this energy, being playful. Where does the body seek a little more energy? If we were to distribute our energy to a certain area of our body that needs a little extra, how would we know where to go with the hands? Get quiet and tune into our body. Feel the sensation, and wherever there's any kind of restriction or pain, that means there's congestion of energy. We're going to move the hands. You can rub them together if you'd like to just feel the heat, and then take them to a certain area of your body that feels like you could use that extra attention. Could be the neck, could be the shoulders, right? Could be the back or the kidneys. It could be an internal organ. It could be a hip. You want to move both hands over to one hip, for example, or a knee. But you want to imagine both hands now on that same area. So one in front, one behind if possible, and then transmitting energy between the hands into that area of the body. The neck is always a good place. And close your eyes if that feels safe to do that. And let everything be focalized in the particular region of the body where your attention is now drawn. Wherever attention goes, energy flows. This is a great opportunity to now drop into, all open to receptivity. Are you willing to allow something new into your life? The ability to heal yourself, to support your body in healing itself. The body's designed to heal itself. A little attention in that direction and support can surprise you. Now bring your hands together at the heart. Good. Interlace your fingers, push down. Press the arms forward. Raise the arms up. Now if you can, come up onto the toes or the pads of the feet. The arms lower and lower the heels. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the fingers, pull up to the heart, push down to the lower dantian, stretch it up to the upper dantian, and wrap all that integrated energy around the body into the field. One more time. Good. Bring the arms up around the shoulders. 1, 2. Good. Clearing all of the major organs. We're going to do 5, 3. So we have the organs of respiration, the upper part of the chest, that's the lungs and heart. The organs of digestion at the center near the ribs, liver, spleen, stomach, and the organs of elimination at the lower dantian by the pelvis. Now push hands forward and let the fingers fall to the earth and drop the arms to the sides. Come up onto the pads of the feet, lift the heels. Now if you're able to, and it feels okay, to land into the heels and let the body reverberate, do as I do. Now if that's uncomfortable or for any reason contraindicated for you, and rather than lifting the heels, just straighten the legs and bounce into the knees and let the body just fall into place. Do it a couple more times. Use that exhale to land. Good. Feel that reverberation in the bones. Good. And then go ahead and shake. From wherever you are, shake out the hands. Shake out the wrists. Bend the elbows. Shake to the right with a little twist in the spine. Back to the center. Shake to the left. Back to the center. A couple more of these rotations in the spine with the bouncing. Keep the energy flowing, circulating right to the center now. Lift the arms up, inhale, and as the arms cross over the head, let them come down and land on the collarbones. Good. Right below the collarbone we have these lung points. We tap on them and breathe. It helps the lungs here, clearing the lungs. Go ahead, extend one arm, tap down the inside of that arm, up the top side, underneath and down the side of the torso, underneath the navel to the opposite hip. Now tap both hips. Good. Go into the center towards the quad, right here, this crease where the leg inserts into the pelvis. Tap up the belly, around the back to the kidneys, and then go down the back of the legs. Tap up the front of the legs, back to the hips, and down the outside of the legs. The inside of the legs, tap, back to the quad. Think and reach. Inhale, crossing the opposite hand if you can remember. If not, it's not a problem. Good. Tap, tap, tap. Good. If you want, you can also, if tapping doesn't work for you, just take your fingers, massage little circles right under the collarbone where the arm is touching. Or dip it there, you can find it. Take the opposite arm, extend out, and with a soft fist or an open palm, tap down the inside of the arm, up the outside, all the way to the top of the shoulder, underneath, down the side of the torso. Tapping again, bringing energy to the surface. Tap the quad, bending in the knees a little, soften and open that space. Good. Up a little bit into the belly, under the ribs, around that liver point, into the kidneys, down the back of the legs. Up the front of the legs, following the energy to the surface. You should feel good by the time we're done here. Down the outside of the legs, up the inside of the legs, into the quad. One more time. Now creating knife edge with the hand. Rub the quad. Create heat there. And then pull the hands up to the chin. Interlace the fingers. Push. And exhale, release. One last exercise. We're going to draw the arms out to the side. This is called gathering from the 6 directions. So we gather to the right, to the left. We exhale, rotate. Gather from behind and in front. And then inhale, gather from above. Rotate back to the beginning. And exhale, set the energy into the pelvis. Good. As though you're wrapping around a ball of energy in the pelvis. Inhale, gathering from left to right. Exhale, opposite direction. Gather front and from behind. Inhale, gather from above. And exhale, bring it down. Wrap around. Hold the hands cupped at the lower dantian, taking one arm up. Inhale. Drawing energy down the center. Exhale. Other side, inhale. Exhale. One more on each side. Other side. Separate the hands, post your weight in your right leg, inhale, step the feet together. Bring your hands forward and create a fist with the right hand, cover with the left. Bowing forward, acknowledging yourself for showing up today. I'm acknowledging you. Thank you for being here. I hope you feel fantastic and renewed and refreshed. Take some time, maybe to go outdoors. Really enjoy this energy for the rest of your day. Thank you so much.